Hey, what's going on, everybody? After the whole Nick Cannon thing, the apology, the crazy talk, I just had to sit back and say, whoa. As much as I like to keep my people in the know, I have to keep things in perspective as well. Every day can't be about controversy. Besides, when you pigeonhole yourself, you can't grow as a content creator or, hey, as a human being. Yeah, really deep moment, right? Plus, I think I have range, meaning I am diverse on a great many topics. So I said, Brian, we need to bring this podcast home. We need to show the people what you got. We need to let them know that you're just more than a political, guerrilla-style political analyst. Yeah, I said it in there. And at this point, you're really alienating a segment of your population who just want to be what? Entertained. So, with that in mind, here we go. Facts, people, nothing but the facts. Women have on average 7 relationships and men have on average 8 relationships before marriage. Women will kiss on average 15 people and men will kiss on average 16 people before marriage. Now, this is probably what we're saying in close to dating relationships, Women on average will have 7 sexual partners and men on average, which I highly disbelieve, but 10 partners before marriage. So according to that, if you're in an exclusive relationship, you have about a 13% chance of marrying that person. Here's a fun fact. If you kiss someone on a date, you have about a 6% chance of marrying that person. And I also find this very, very interesting. It just blew my mind. If you have sex with that same person on the first date, not just a one-night stand, you have about a 12% chance of marrying that person. So, realistically, I would honestly say this may not be something you want to be above average in. If you are or do, well, you might be a hoe. I'm just saying, not just women, but men too. You might be a hoe. Now, this information was derived from telegraph.co.uk, except for the whole part. That's all me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my master class on relationships. Situations is called mating, dating to marriage. Well, it's actually called from mating to dating to marriage, but I was trying to okay. Sponsors, hit it. What's going on, everybody? I am Brian Matthews, your host, and this is Confessions of an Ugly Black Man. Generally, for my research, and I love to do research because I'm just not going to put a topic out without doing a little bit of research. These so-called relationship coaches are either speaking to our target audience of either guys or girls. And when I say girls, ladies, I don't mean any disrespect, but ladies sound so formal and boring. So, gotta hip it up. Right about now, you're probably thinking, Brian, if you speak to both sexes about this topic, then they will know what we're thinking or what to do at certain times of situations. See, I've already factored that process. I've already factored that question into my thought process. So check this out. I used to be an MMA coach back in the day. Back in the day means like a year or so ago, before this COVID crazy. And when I would have my fighters sparring, what I would do is I would spit out directions or what they were doing wrong or what they were doing right to each one loudly. I'd verbalize it so they both could hear it. So this, for me, doesn't give one an advantage over the other because you know exactly what I'm coaching toward these people. I call this basically I'm evening the playing field. And here's another situation, or example, and it may make sense to you, it may not. I don't know how simple I can get. And I do understand there's a lot of people who aren't sports fans, or this podcast might be carried across the Great Pond, and people in UK or Australia or even Jamaica may not really know about football. So if this analogy doesn't really sink home with you, don't worry, it'll all make sense in the end. So in football, coaches carry this thing called a playbook. The playbook is for both on offense and defense. Now, I know if I was like overseas somewhere, I'd probably say soccer, so kind of the same thing. But for example, an offensive running play, the coach might say, all right, go ahead and run Tiger 21, dive on 2. So basically, what I just said, or what the play is saying, is the 2-back, or one of the 2 guys who runs the ball, is going to run on the left side of the quarterback, which is called the 1 hole. Now, like I said earlier, I know some of you, I just lost you. You're like, oh God. Just understand this. No matter what they call it, a 21 dive is a 21 dive is a 21 dive, regardless of how you label it. Which means dating's been around forever. Not too many things change. Now, the one thing that really has changed is the method of meeting. Regardless of how you meet, whether you swipe left or swipe right or however you do that, you gotta have some game, man. You got to have some game, period. If you don't have game, you ain't going nowhere, and everything I'm about to talk about doesn't apply to you. So with that being said, it's time for some learning. Now, due to contrary belief, I wasn't always the ugly black man. I would say I've had my share of dating entanglements. See? See what I just did? I just made this conversation relevant for today. I mean, honestly, the word entanglement, it got me thinking about relationships, and I got this via the Will Jada Smith Red Table conversation. So I'm like, I didn't hear the entire conversation, but I heard enough to say, yeah, get out of here, man. Now, let me just preface by saying this. This is not, today's conversation isn't about that. Now, I'm not going to deal too much with that because, you know what? Will and Jada Smith got their own issues, and I'm just not going to keep running it through the grinder. Some of y'all going to get mad about what I'm about to say. Some dudes might get mad, some females might get mad. I'm sorry if you do get mad. August Alsina, regardless of his situation or how he came into being in this situation, he ain't the victim, man. There's no way he's the victim. Not too many men are going to say no to Jada Pinkett Smith's attention. Trust me, I'm not gonna dig too deep, but I'm gonna hit something like that a little bit later. But like I said, this is not the conversation for today. What we are talking is how we're gonna get from mating to dating to marriage. Now, notice I put mating before dating. That's because people tend to put the carriage before the horse. Y'all know, meet online, chill for Netflix, get naked. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all consenting adults. However, it's the after part that makes shit get so real. I'll be a liar or remiss to say that both men and women, they've ghosted people at some point or time, you know, for one or two or maybe even more reasons. But guys, there's possibly potentially two reasons why you may have been ghosted. One, there wasn't that much motion in the ocean. The SS Minnow couldn't be saved. I know a lot of people don't understand the SS Minnow because that's an old school Gilligan's Island type thing. Basically, if you got a little dick, man, she just moaned just to get you off her. I'm sorry. And number two, because she probably broke you off properly, you got too clingy, up in her armpits in bed, or you got too crazy, texting her every 5 minutes, too fast. Now see, that's a red flag all day and all night. And ladies, well, you may have gotten ghosted simply because you gave him the D1 scholarship sex. You know, the full ride way too fast. So now he's thinking, that was way too easy. Who else did she smash like that? That's when you become a statistic in the smash and dash saga. Don't shoot the messenger. Just facts, shorty. Just facts. Now, another reason why I put mating first, we are nothing more than a higher form of animal. I didn't say intelligent because some of us are just dumb. Just keeping it honest here. I'm just saying. You know those guys who go raw dog and end up with the 18-year financial plan and a bitter baby mama? Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Or her. Oh yeah, ladies. You too. Yeah. Brian is fair and impartial when calling out folks. You getting stuck with the baby mama number 5 thing. Yeah, something you probably should have asked before you took that trip to Wonderlust. How many baby mamas you got? Yeah, I mean, that's relevant for nowadays. It really is. But once again, that's an entirely different survival guide altogether. In the animal kingdom, you don't date. You perform some form of mating call, ritual, or mating dance just to get the female's attention. Here's the problem. The male ego is fragile. Men don't realize. They think they're the predator. Dudes, I hate to tell you, but you're the prey. See, it's been said by some professionals, women have already made up their minds before they walk out the door if they plan to let you visit their secret garden. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's classic old school at its best. Wink, wink, link is below. Big Bang Theory Howard and Bernadette explained that date number 3 equals sex. Mind you, congratulations if you made it that far without having sex. Major accomplishment. Getting to know him, getting to know her first, man, I am so proud of you. However, the sex is the easy part. It's the morning after, well, the 5 minutes after the sex, in which maybe date number 4 is potential or possible. Okay, let me put it this way. Ladies, just because he's hung like a freaking horse and he blows your back out, that doesn't mean he's the one. And fellas, just because she's trying to get that perfect 8-second ride doesn't mean drop the mic. Game over. Now, FYI guys, an 8-second ride for you may cause you to get ghosted. Go back home, do not collect the $100, you've been canceled. I'm laughing because if you listen to my podcast, you understand what I mean when I say you've been canceled. Plug. The problem is this: when people confuse love with lust, it may sound something like this. Ooh, this was the greatest night of my life. It was so good. I've never felt this way. Now, potentially, one or both of you just had a freaking amazing orgasm. Or multiple orgasms. Research has discovered during an orgasm, your brain is working overtime to produce a slew of different hormones and neurochemicals. One of these is dopamine, a hormone that is responsible for the feelings of pleasure, desire, and motivation. Plus, the part of your brain in charge of logical, reasonable thinking is temporarily on vacation. The lateral orbital frontal cortex becomes less active during sex. This is the part of the brain that is responsible for reason, decision-making, and valuable judgments. These are facts, people, from article at sciencealert.com. So in short, it's not your fault, boo-boo. It's biological. So let's just say this, just because. Let's just say after the, we're going to give you 15 to 30 minutes, okay, bro? We're going to give you that big. And yes, she's laying on the bed just shaking because it was that freaking good. And she can stand lay next to you. And he hasn't tried to gnaw his arm off trying to escape from the boudoir. Here's the first question you need to ask yourself. Are we really compatible? Just a thought to consider. A good bedmate doesn't necessarily make a good life partner. But we'll say, for podcast sakes, the stars align and it's official. It's been some time and you're in love. Hell, maybe married, or at least in a deeply committed relationship. Just in case, if there's any questions, if you're in a deeply committed relationship or not, and this is for the guys, of course, because we tend to fall simple and wear the helmet on the short bus. Okay, if your girl, this is A for A. I know I'm gonna sound like a comedian on this one, but I'm for real. If your girl has no problem in going into your bathroom and blowing that joker up, aka doing a number 2, she comes out, looks at you with no remorse and says, "Yep, I did that," you might be in a committed relationship. If she farts while you're in bed and giggles, you might be in a deeply committed relationship. If your king size bed shrinks to a twin or even a single, you might be in a deeply committed relationship. And finally, she wears your shirt and underwear to bed because she just wants to be close to you when you aren't there. Oh, so sweet. Man, you're in a committed relationship after that. Now, I got a friend. This guy is a prime example of finding the one. Now, I met Lawrence, and Lawrence is from Massachusetts. I'm here in Texas, he's from Massachusetts, so it's like two different worlds. But I met him when I was trained to be a high-level federal investigator. Don't ask, because if you do, I'll have to kill you. Just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, we found out we had a lot in common. Definitely in nerddom. Now, I can honestly say that I'm a low-level nerd, but a nerd nonetheless. So Lauren's girlfriend, Jenny, I hope I explained this correctly, she's like a musical savant, like a freaking genius. And she had an opportunity, or she was working for Ubisoft in Canada, to believe. Or she had the opportunity to work there. I'm not sure if she did or not. Now, that's a video game company for all you non-gamers out there. And, well, he's just one of those really freaking smart guys. He makes smart guys look dumb. And then I found out he's a competitive gamer. I mean, he competes at a high level. Me, I just compete. And I'm freaking good. Oh, by the way, my gamer tag on Xbox One is Chosen Ill. That's spelled Charlie Hotel, Oscar Zulu, Echo November, Space, India Lima Lima, CHOZENILL. Get at me and let's dance. Now, she's into cosplay and anime. Okay, guys, pro tip, if you find a girl who maxes out your compatibility meter, yeah, marry that girl. I don't mean if you two have a love for basketball, but she likes to poster dunk on you. Nah, bruh, wrong time to have shorty's camel toe in your face. However, getting triangled by your girl in jiu-jitsu is heaven, at least for 12 seconds before you go night-night. Anyway, he recently sent me a video of her working a double-bladed lightsaber. I know, right? I'm so sad. I'm making mine out of PVC pipe and wood. Man, drop the mic, I guess. Oh, wow. All I can say is this, man. He can drop the mic. Game over. He wins. Well, I think they both win because they're compatible. They found, their one. Now back to the topic. Now, you may have got the girl. Let me rephrase that. She may have got you. Remember, she was on the hunt. You fell for the bait. You can't go fishing without bait, bruh. And dudes don't bring anything. But they do. Once again, it's a different story, different topic for a different day. Now remember, I mentioned August Alsina entanglement situation. If you ask any woman, regardless if she's single or married, who their favorite celebrity crush is, and I've had a podcast in the past, Celebrity Crush, check it out, she will more than likely say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. White, black, Asian, it doesn't matter what culture. You see how I did that? The Rock's chi is transcended, you understand? And to be clear, they don't know this dude's personality. They don't know who he is. They're looking at his body. That means don't get the dad bod too fast, bro. You might have a short lifespan. And let's be fair. If you found out The Rock came to your town, black packed your babe, and sent her home packing to you, I mean, can you really get mad? Yeah, I guess you can. Sorry, bro. And, this applies to me too. Hey, I'm just being real. I don't care how good you look or how low you're swinging. For that short period in time, she upgraded, bro. She upgraded. But here's the part of this conversation that is so hypocritical. Women are jealous creatures. And the very thought of you running around naked playing reindeer games with Scarlett Johansson may get you put on the juicy timeout. Know what I mean? However, not all women think like that. And if you should happen to find a woman who says, yeah, she's sexy as fuck, bruh, run. Here's a trick. Don't fall for the okie doke, bruh. Jedi mind trick, Jedi mind trick. Warning, warning, warning. Run. Man, they crazy. They crazy. Here's a side note. Have you ever woke up, turned over, and she's just staring at you? Yeah, bro. She's thinking how she will fuck you up if you run up in anyone else. You understand what I'm saying? Only you gonna run up in her like Bruce Jenner, the gold medal winner. Nobody else, bro. She crazy, bro. She crazy. Now, I do realize I didn't touch on everything simply because this is a complex topic. And while every relationship is different, not all recommendations or solutions may apply. But just remember these 3 key points. Guys, be loyal, stay faithful, and be generous. That's with your time, dum-dum, not your wallet. Sometimes your wallet. And ladies, we men are simple. At least those of us with the appropriate number of chromosomes. Break us off at least 4 times a week. Okay, 4 times a day, 4 times a week, preferably. Tolerate us through our own inequities and love us till the day we die. You're going to outlive us anyway. Women tend to live an average of 4 to 7 years longer than men. So you can have guilt-free cougar sex after that. Just kidding. Just saying. This was just I guess you could say, a funny way to look at relationships and how we go from all the way from the start to the finish. And really, a relationship is never finished because it's ever evolving. So I will say this. I'm trying to be more diverse, trying to be out there a little bit more than just being so politically correct. But don't get me wrong, I haven't let that guerrilla journalism go. But sometimes, hey, we just want to be entertained. Now, I want you to be on the lookout for my next podcast, which is to be determined. Okay, it's called The Guide to Surviving or Avoiding Crazy Exes and Bitter Baby Mamas. Sorry, ladies. This time it's just for the guys. But you're more than welcome to listen. No, you're highly encouraged to listen. Hey, this has been Brian Matthews. This has been fun. You have been fed. And hey, stay frosty, my friends. Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know, after the whole Nick Cannon thing,